Welcome, everybody, to a house show. It's one of our shows that we like to do just every once in a while, where we get to talk about whatever's kind of on our minds.
Wrestling History X in your house.
Kind of, yeah, absolutely. So not talking about a specific pay-per-view or show this time.
These are our shoot interviews with ourselves.
Kind of. We were sitting here and we finished watching Wrestle Kingdom Day 1.
Yes.
Which we might talk about a little bit here in a little bit.
Yeah. I figure we'll probably talk maybe more about it after night 2. Maybe.
Perhaps.
We'll see.
But we sat here and watched a Japanese movie.
A kaiju film.
Yeah.
Air quotes.
A film about kaijus that is in Japanese, but called Kaiju Mono.
Yeah.
It's a 2016 film that has been released on Blu-ray just in this last couple years.
Yeah, I think it's like 2017 U.S. release.
But the main draw of it for us, for Michael and myself, was that...
A couple of the stars, guest stars?
A couple of the stars of the film.
One of them's in a lot of the film.
Exactly. Because we're big New Japan fans, is Kota Ibushi.
The Golden Star.
The Golden Star. And if you haven't watched any New Japan, then he was also in the Cruiserweight Classic a few years back as well in WWE. And then Minoru Suzuki was also in the film as well. And so we saw these two wrestlers in this film, and we were just like, we have to watch this.
Yeah, I've had it for a while, and today was the day.
Today was the day. We just kind of wrestled ourselves out a little bit.
Yeah, we really. Well, I mean, this had minimal wrestling.
I mean, this film definitely had minimum wrestling.
There was no ropes, no refs.
But it is the movie Kaiju Mono. If I haven't said the title of the movie yet, which I don't think I have yet.
It means giant monster, basically.
Exactly. But basically, this kaiju shows up and Japan has to save themselves.
Like all the other ones. But the thing is, we put it on and I was like, all right, well, there's an
English dub,
and then there's subtitles. And I was going to put on the English subtitles and the dub just to see the difference. But for some reason, I didn't have that choice, so we just watched it in the dub because we figured that we knew this movie was not. This is not high quality cinema by any means.
There's B movies. I would say this might be a C+.
Yeah.
Especially the dub version.
Yeah, and the dub version does a thing to like kind of, like I said, Most Extreme. What was it? MX Most Extreme Elimination. Remember that show where they would take the old Japanese show and they would do the American dub like on FX?
I don't remember this, but
we thought it was very funny.
It sounds somewhat familiar.
Yeah, but they're still following the plot, like the Japanese plot, but just goofying it up a little bit more and adding goofier American jokes as opposed
comments completely
self-referential and kind of like meta, and then sometimes there's some cameos from Japanese stars of Ultraman, and they
literally when they
make
show
jokes
up,
about it.
When they show up, they literally and our next cameo for the film is
it's for our American audience, and
then they explain
another actor from Ultraman, yeah.
But basically, this film starts kind of with the
some
kaiju
paranormal
shows up.
Investigators.
Well, the
you
investigators
really want to get to the nitty gritty. To start. Get the minutia.
And the kaiju goes after virgins, and the girl of these investigators is like, I'm not a virgin.
Yeah.
But she still gets eaten.
Yeah, but I think most importantly is that there's a man that, your trainer man, your wise man, and but the great thing about him, really the only thing about him, outside of just being that, wise man trainer character that's mysterious, is that he's wearing an all denim kimono, which is
denim kimono,
but it's denim, a denim jacket,
and literally, I think incredible. The tag you for can see the Levi's
tag on it
is on it.
It's pretty funny,
and the buttons are at the bottom. It's It's pretty hilarious.
Yeah. So the kaiju attacks the like paranormal investigating teens, and then when it does that, it basically emerges, and all of Tokyo finds out. So they attempt to figure out how to combat the kaiju.
Well, they also then the daughter and research assistant of a famous scientist find the kaiju's egg.
Yeah, it's a little spirally, glowy thing.
And then they take that egg and they take cells from it, they're able to make a formula called Setup X.
Yeah, just set the film up.
Basically. Yes, we got to have this ridiculous setup for this film because it's a ridiculous film.
Yeah.
Well, the kaiju keeps attacking, basically, and so they end up giving the Setup X cells to the research assistant.
Yeah, who doesn't really want to do it, and he sells it to him because he obviously is like, yo, I know you like my daughter.
He's in love with the daughter.
And he's like, well, this will make you, stronger, like a super soldier. You're being like sexy Captain America.
He gets injected, and he grows to the size of a kaiju with magical underwear.
But turns from a skinny, nerdy teen boy to big, sexy Kota Ibushi.
Kota Ibushi, the Golden Star. Yeah.
That's what I was...
If that sounds interesting at all, you should definitely watch this movie.
If you need any more icing on that cake, the scientist really likes to dress up as a Sailor Moon cosplay. Yeah, can do Sailor Moon cosplay. But yeah, so he turns to Kota. The research assistant becomes big and sexy, the size of a kaiju, beats up the kaiju, shrinks back down,
becomes famous.
But now he looks just like normal Kota Ibushi instead of the skinny boy.
Yeah,
so and everyone gets super famous, and everyone's trying to.
And everyone keeps making comments about how big his muscles are, and his tiny titan.
Yes, his tiny titan,
which
is a dong joke.
It's a dong joke completely. But yeah, it's from there. Like we have like 15-20 minutes of him like doing commercials and interviews and stuff.
And you have a evil, somebody evil trying to basically like feels like they're trying to kidnap.
Yes,
Ibushi or
the Scorpion. This young lady, clad in black, is following him and ends up seducing Kota Ibushi's character. And everyone thinks that she's after the Setup
him
X,
and the serum,
so they can change. But she's actually after the underpants,
which I don't think we've talked about yet. But one of the things that happened was he was like, "Well, I'm not going to fight him naked," so they bring out this special underwear that grows and shrinks with your size. So turns out she was after the underwear.
And so after she captures the underwear,
she bounces, leaves him.
She calls her boss and is like, "Hey, I got the underwear." And the best joke of the entire movie,
yes,
is the boss goes, "Great, we can use this for fat, ugly Americans."
So they don't, because
they don't have to ever buy different sizes of underwear.
Exactly, yeah. And it's like, okay, I get it. And yeah, they didn't really have anything nefarious going on. They just wanted the technology. I mean, granted, it's stealing, but they just it was a kind of a red herring situation.
And through all this, the kaiju keeps coming back and attacking Japan, and then Kota Ibushi goes and fights him, but he's not a great fighter.
Yeah, and they kind of realize that since the kaiju keeps coming back, that the kaiju has learned his tricks and gotten stronger.
But really, the kaiju just wants his egg back.
Yeah, which we knew from the
beginning.
But,
exactly.
The movie's stupid.
But finally, they're like, I guess the scientist finds another round of cells, which are evil cells.
I think where did he find the evil cells? From the egg, maybe? Or
it contains an evil gene.
What does?
The new Setup X that he forms. I don't know. I don't
know how he got the evil gene. I can't figure it out.
The plot of this movie is way out there, and sometimes getting from point A to point B.
It's almost like too simple to explain.
I don't know where they got the evil gene from either.
Anyway, this time they decided that maybe he'll be stronger or have a fighting chance.
If he's evil.
Yes.
So they inject him with the evil gene.
Yeah, it's like spliced into the normal one. So he turns into Kota.
Who then turns into Minoru Suzuki.
Once he's like gotten beat up enough and he's like got to go into like hyper mode.
And a banner comes flying off a building and turns into the towel over Suzuki's head.
And we didn't get Kaze ni Nare, but like if I wish they would have had that kind of money so they could have just done the end pop of the song whenever the towel hit his head, but beggars can't be choosers. And I wasn't begging for this.
But Suzuki beats down the kaiju, ends up turning back into Ibushi, but then, like as we said, the last cameo of the movie is the actor who used to be Ultraman in Japan comes out and is like, it's a 70-year-old woman.
Yes, the kaiju is the equivalent to like a 70-year-old woman for us.
Just wants her kid.
She just wants her egg back.
And so
we can't beat up an old woman.
Ibushi has to like convince the kaiju that just take the
egg and leave.
We're all good.
Yeah.
And then it does, and everyone's happy, and it's a happy ending.
It's fucking stupid. And then Kota Ibushi shrinks back down. But this time when he shrinks back down, he's back to the normal nerdy research assistant. Right? That's basically what happens.
I don't think he ever does go back to the research assistant. I think
he does.
Does he at the very end?
Yeah, because at the end he's like, you don't care that I don't have muscles anymore, and then she like hugs him, and I think they stare at the sunset.
Hopefully, there's a couple suns.
And then the credits roll, and it plays some song about like two hearts as one and stuff
that we like sang along with.
We tried to
as we were watching it, but it was in Japanese. So
yeah, we couldn't get.
We couldn't get the melody.
Different amount of syllables.
So that was the dubbed version.
Yeah, we switched over for a second in the other one
just to kind of see what the subtitled version was. It felt a little bit more straightforward, and
a little less
serious,
less goofy.
Goofy.
Yeah, less like jokes about virgins and stuff
and cameos.
But it was still the same cut of the movie. It's not like in this one the dad wasn't a like Sailor Moon cosplay
cross-dresser completely. Yeah. But yeah, that was an experience.
Yeah, I'm glad it was only 90 minutes. And like, I guess most importantly, there was some fun. There was some fun like actual wrestling moves. We popped when Minoru Suzuki did a Gotch style pile driver.
Gave the Gotch style pile driver to the kaiju.
And like when Kota Ibushi did a Phoenix Plex on a giant foam monster costume.
I mean, like we said while we were watching it, Kota has some experience fighting inanimate objects.
Yes. Wrestle Kingdom spoiler, I'm waiting for Kota Ibushi versus the plastic bag in 2020.
It'll be 2021.
Oh. Why not this year?
I mean, unless you're calling Jay White.
Oh, no. No, I mean like maybe later in the year. Maybe maybe at a smaller show like a Dominion or something.
Dominion, smaller show, right?
Yeah.
We'll throw it at the the Tag League Finals.
Yeah.
The end of the year.
It'll be Kota Ibushi and a plastic bag versus
God.
Yeah, God, exactly.
Well, you want to talk about what we saw at Wrestle Kingdom Day 1?
Yeah, sure.
So, I mean, we've gotten to see Liger, his first retirement match.
We'd watch the preview matches or the pre-show matches, but there's not really much to say there. Hanare got a pin in the Lion match.
Yeah, Hanare got a pin over some dojo members, which
I don't remember who it was that he pinned.
No,
was Yota Tsuji?
Yeah, Tsuji. That's
okay.
It
was Yota Tsuji. And then we had a dad. The dad tag,
the New Japan Dads match,
which was Nakanishi and
Nagata, wasn't it?
Yeah, Kojima and who else?
It's been a few hours since we watched this.
Yeah, this was like at 10 a.m. this morning that we watched it, and it's like 10 p.m. now.
Yeah, so. It's 12 hours later.
Yeah, and they weren't, The pre-show is skippable, but like let's get into the meat of it. Oh, wait a second. There's still a couple of million-man tags.
Well, yeah. So then we had the Liger retirement match, which Taguchi pinned Liger during, but the longest part of that match was actually just the entrances because there was 10 of them to walk out, and they each got individual entrances.
It was a Liger. This is your live Liger match, and like it was cool for everybody there. It was cool for Liger. It was cool for like old school Japanese wrestling fans. I know a lot of the names of these guys. I can't say that I've seen all of these men, like men's marquee matches and stuff like that. But some of it was kind of hard to watch because, like, these guys are old.
Exactly.
And it was like, ooh, I don't know if they should be in there.
A couple more 8-man tags came up. We had Suzuki-gun versus LIJ, and Sabre ends up pinning Ibushi, or I guess he made him submit technically with that armbar.
Yeah, he did.
I mean, that was basically just a setup for Sabre and Sonata for day 2.
Yeah, I was solid for what it is. Like those LIJ multi-man matches, like LIJ's got it down to a science. Yeah, Their whole team does when it comes to that.
Exactly.
But like, if you're gonna get multi-man matches, the ones with LIJ are typically the better ones.
And then we had a Chaos versus Bullet Club where Goto pinned the Tokyo Pimp after a GTR. Once again, another just basically set up for Goto and Kenta.
Yeah, a little bit of heat. No Shibata there, but we still think we'll see Shibata tomorrow.
We're hoping. We got our fingers crossed for day 2 Shibata.
I feel like it'd be really weird if we didn't, but, who knows. Our
4th match, we had Finjuice become the new tag team champions, beating GOD.
Yeah, it was a solid tag match. It was something a little fresh because we got Finjuice is a newer tag.
Yeah.
And
I mean, really if you've been watching New Japan for a while, you would have seen Finjuice tag for quite some time.
But Finley just came back, so it's like it's fresher than a lot of other things in the tag division. Is kind of what I mean.
Very true. Definitely not Sonata and Evil versus GOD.
Yeah, and it was solid. They won the match, and I'm glad that Finley was the one that secured the pin. So that's cool. Good for him.
The acid drop on it. So we have a chance.
We're trying to figure out if we're gonna get double
juice,
double gold juice because he's got a tag, and then
he's gonna be in
tomorrow.
The U.S. title match tomorrow as well against.
And we want to give it away now. It's fine.
Well, the next match was Moxley defeating Archer.
I know.
In a Texas death match, which I feel like this was kind of the surprise of the show for me. I mean,
As in you expected it to be better. Or
well, actually, I kind of thought Archer was going to win.
Oh well, yeah. No, I was hoping
just for
Archer
the sheer
was
fact that because I didn't think they were going to do double gold Finn.
I agree with you completely.
And I don't know how they're going to do Moxley
after this
show.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how long his contract with New Japan runs, but obviously he can't appear on U.S. TV
or just U.S. at all, I think.
Yeah, since he's contracted to the AEW. So I don't know how that's going to work. I'm sure they're going to work something out.
That's what makes me think that not Finn, sorry, I keep wanting to call Finn because Finn Juice, but I think Juice will probably take that belt from him if he won it tonight.
It makes sense, but
it's a bummer because I really wanted to see
feel
Archer.
like it's dumb I hate putting a belt on a person for one day.
Yeah.
That seems dumb.
But maybe that was just, who knows? When you're dealing with somebody else that's in another company, then stuff like that's gonna happen. You're gonna get stuff like that with Jericho and with like Moxley as long as they're working with New Japan.
Do you want the door open or do you want it closed?
Me, personally?
Yeah.
I want it closed for now.
I think it should be closed, but if Moxley and Tanahashi walk out with wins tomorrow,
then the door's probably open.
I feel like the door's open.
Yeah, well, I hope the door's not open. I hope it's not open yet. I'm not opposed to being open later, but I'm not.
When we say open door, closed door, we mean a relationship between New Japan and AEW.
Like a working relationship like they just had with ROH recently, or like they have with Rev Pro
and CMLL.
Yeah, CMLL.
Our sixth match was the junior heavyweight match between Ospreay and Hiromu. Hiromu making his return, and
it's his
match
third
of the night.
Third match, kind of the match of the night. It's hard to say that because the next two matches I think were really great, but I think that they're also kind of set up for tomorrow night.
Exactly.
But like both those matches are, there's still a road to a conclusion, whereas this was a conclusion.
Exactly.
So, yeah, this was pretty great. Plus, it's also like we haven't seen Hiromu in a while, and Will Ospreay just had the best year in wrestling.
Yeah.
So it's like, holy shit.
He was definitely our 2019 Wrestler of the Year. Easily.
Yeah, no contest. Just the amount of matches, singles matches worked, and then the amount of, like, great singles matches worked, because over 90% of them were great. Like, they didn't really have any. He didn't have any bad matches. He even had a decent match with like Fale.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, come on.
And then we get the final two, the big two matches for the evening. We had the IC Championship match between where Naito wins the IC belt from Jay White,
which we assumed, but they did like kind of get me a couple times where I was like, I've seen Naito screwed over enough times, and I've seen things happen that I didn't expect. New Japan's kind of like predictable if you follow the product, but the thing is they will put you on your toes enough times that that in these big spots you can get kind of nervous.
I mean, there was a point in the match that I was like, they're just gonna do Jay White, aren't they?
Yeah.
I'm like,
and like I shouldn't normally. That doesn't happen all the time. That you're like, oh, this will happen, and then it does. But I actually got kind of scared for a minute. I was like, oh shit. Not even because I'm the biggest Naito fan, but I was scared for Naito fans. I was like, ooh.
I was like,
and I am a Naito fan. I'm not a diehard.
There was 40,000 fans at the Tokyo Dome, and we know some people that are there, and we were like, they may have front row seats if Naito loses this match.
It's like maybe nobody shows up tomorrow. But I mean, either way, Tanahashi. We'll get the Tanahashi video tomorrow. Although I don't know how the Japanese fans feel about our AEW champion. Like, especially after that Okada match earlier this year, that everybody was like,
still Chris Jericho.
Like, ugh. I mean, yeah, like he's still entertaining.
Exactly. I mean, that's the thing. He's entertaining.
It's the New Japan dad ace versus the I guess AEW. Because AEW, I don't know if you can call an ace in AEW. Yeah, it's like, but he's he's the dad ace in the U.S.
Pretty much, yeah.
Because you can't call the Undertaker the dad ace because he doesn't perform, but Jericho's still performing at a high level, consistently, and is has the title for the second biggest promotion in the U.S.
Exactly. And then, of course, our main event, Okada defeated Ibushi.
Yes.
To retain the heavyweight title.
Which I expected, but it was a really good match.
Well, like, once Naito won...
It's like,
we both feel like Naito needs to win the double belts.
If he doesn't, then it's like, what do you do with him? Then, like, you turn him into... I don't know. Pick a mid-carder that they've gone cold and hot on. Like... I mean, Sonata's, like, kind of in a spot, but he had a big year still. He had too many matches with Okada, in my opinion, but, he got a win over him.
Yeah.
But, then he kind of just gets knocked down. He gets Godo'd. It's like, how are you gonna Godo the guy that sells the most amount of merch?
Exactly. But once Naito won, it was kind of like, okay, it's basically the same kind of argument that I had with the Moxley title change. I'm like, you're not going to put the title on someone for one day. And so... Yeah,
plus also Okada still needs to still needs to be at the top of... He just needs to be at the top of the Wrestle Kingdom night too, right?
I mean,
he's Okada.
Most of those tickets are sold.
Yeah, I know, but he still needs to be up there. Like, I think Ibushi will get his chance for that.
Well, I also think it's a better story that if Naito beats Okada for the belt, because Okada's the guy.
Yeah, and he came up short.
If he beats Ibushi, then it's just like, oh, I beat Ibushi, but he never had to face Okada for the belt at all. So.
Then it's still
that's a storyline.
Yeah, there's still unfinished business if he gets the belt from somebody else. If he doesn't get it from Okada,
they should never put the belt on someone for one day. That's just bad business completely. Yeah. So unless they were going to be like, okay, Ibushi, you had 2 title changes, and then you have 2 a new champion for each one. Like, that doesn't make any sense at all. So
yeah, but the way Jay White took care of Naito's knees and stuff, it was like, it had us going for a little bit.
I mean, it did. The thing is, Okada doesn't really work limbs. So I mean, that's I don't know how much they'll do the callback. I mean, I'm sure there'll be a callback or 2, but I don't think he's gonna work the legs like Jay White did. No, definitely not. Just a quick run through of what we're going to see on day 2. We're going to have a never open weight 6-man tag team gauntlet match, which who knows who's going to win.
There'll be fun spots in there. I think it'll be a fun little match.
It'll be a quick, fun 15 minutes to start the show. It'll be
basically.
It's on the pre-show. Yeah.
That's on the pre-show?
It's on the pre-show.
I wasn't sure if there was a pre-show.
Liger has another retirement match with Sano versus Ryu Lee and Hiromu Takahashi, which Ryu Lee is the former Dragon Lee.
Yeah, Ryu just means dragon in Japanese. Exactly. And of course he can't probably use his name because he just left CMLL.
Yeah, CMLL actually owns the name. So.
And then, who is it? It's
Nako Sano.
Nakasano, yeah. Okay, so one of the guys that kind of moved in the Liger This Is Your Life match. And it's kind of funny because Liger and him were rivals in their day, and now we've got Dragon Lee and Hiromu teaming up, and Dragon Lee broke his neck. He's the reason Hiromu was out. I mean, it takes 2 to tango. Like, he wasn't trying to break his neck, but still, like, that's a story that's going to be told for a long time.
Yeah, I feel like they're the 2 juniors at the top of the card.
Yeah, I feel like Will Ospreay dropping this to Hiromu brings Will Ospreay truly to the heavyweight, which we've seen him flirt with this year.
Yeah.
It's like, I feel like next year, like, of course I'd love to see him in Best of Super Juniors again, but with Hiromu there and Dragon Lee there, do we need Will Ospreay to be there?
I don't think so.
I don't think we need him to be there, but like, I feel like it's time for him to be pushed up to the top. They've been teasing it all year.
Yeah. I think he stays heavyweight.
Yeah.
For the entire year.
I agree.
We have a junior heavyweight tag team match between ELP and Ishimori and Sho and Yo.
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
That'll be a fun match. Yeah. Sho and Yo have just been kind of killing it.
Yeah, they're great. ELP's a shit heel, and I really, really like Ishimori. And hopefully he's healed up enough to really go all out, because when he can go, he goes. But he got injured earlier in the year and kind of had a middling year, but he had some matches early in the year when he was the champion, why can't I talk? When he was the junior heavyweight champion early in the year, he had a lot of good matches.
Yeah.
Like 3 or 4 like really, really stellar matches. One with Taguchi, which was like, that and the Liger match that he had earlier in the year. That Taguchi match was one of my favorite matches of the first couple of months of the year, outside of, Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah.
The Wrestle Kingdom feels like the 0. It's like the last day of the year for New Japan for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it is for everybody. So I don't really... It counts for 2020, but like this is kind of still 2019.
It starts on New Year's Dash.
Yeah, exactly. There's a reason they call it that.
We got like I mentioned earlier, Sabre Jr. and Sonata for the British Heavyweight Championship. Moxley and Juice for the U.S. belt.
I'm thinking Sonata and Sabre can really be a thing.
It's gonna be a good match. The thing is, with it being the 3rd match on the card, I just don't know if they're gonna get a whole lot of time.
Yeah, I know.
Which is unfortunate.
Like a Sabre match benefits from time.
Yeah, Sabre matches will benefit from some time.
But it is a shorter show, I think, than night ones.
I think they're going to go the full 4 hours just like they usually do, but
yeah,
but like literally every match is, other than one, is like a championship. Well, 2, I guess, with the Liger match.
Yeah, the Liger match
is a championship match.
Yeah.
We have, like I said, Moxley and Juice. We mentioned that one already. Kenta and Goto for the never open weight.
Tomorrow's going to be sick.
I think Goto comes out the winner.
Oh, you think so? I'd be stoked on it.
I mean, I think they probably do something like that. I think if there's a
title,
you
need, it's like, Kenta being a shit heel and going against his, like, you need some justice for Shibata.
Exactly. And I think this is where Shibata jumps in and helps, basically.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. We got the third place match, basically, with Jay White versus Kota Ibushi.
Which I think this is kind of one of the most interesting matches, because, like, who's going to take 2 losses?
Who takes the second loss?
It's like...
And I think we're all in agreement. I mean, at least me and you are in agreement. Jay White's the one that can take the 2 losses.
I think they both can take it, but I think that Jay White taking it just means that he, like, it's kind of good and, like, Kota could take it and be nasty, or Kota.
Technically, Ibushi beat White for the G1.
Yeah.
So it almost makes me think that maybe
he'll get
Jay will win.
Get his win back.
Yeah.
And I think that Kota can do that because then he can just get nastier Kota more often, which I know you don't care for, but I care.
I mean, I think if it's a consistent character, it's one thing, but he's not a consistent character with it.
He is. He only does it whenever he needs to do it.
Yeah.
And
like just start off doing it. And,
if he starts off doing it, then he's a heel.
Yeah.
But I don't want him as a heel. I just want him to go to the dark side sometimes, tease it for a while. Maybe he'll later. But I mean, because I don't see Jay White going face anytime soon.
No, or at least we hope not.
Yeah, I hope not.
Then we got a special singles match of Hiroshu.
Oh damn, dude! Tomorrow is hell.
Tanahashi and Chris Jericho. If Tanahashi wins, supposedly Jericho is going to grant him an AEW World Championship match.
Keep the door closed for now, please.
Like we said, keeping the door closed. And then the main event, the double gold dash, Okada, Naito or we Riot.
If Naito loses, then he should just turn into ash, like the fucking
just
Marvel
float
movie,
away,
and float away.
The next time we see him, he's in Connecticut.
Oh, don't say that.
Or Orlando with Triple H.
I don't know. Like, yeah, I love both these guys. I think Okada could hold that belt forever, but he's young and he probably will hold that belt for what we will look back on as forever. But we'll have these other guys in between. But do you think this will be like, if Naito takes this, is it going to be a super long Naito run?
No,
I still don't think so either. I think it's just one of those things where it's like, oh, let me get this accomplishment.
He gets his name as the accomplishment as the first person to ever hold both the heavyweight and the IC belt,
and hopefully the only one. And like we said, it's like, well, if Okada wins, then it's like, oh, Okada doesn't even want the belt. Everyone else is the only people that talk. I
mean, if I was booking it, like Naito wins, he literally puts the heavyweight belt on, and then he lays the IC belt in the ring,
and then there's like a small tournament for it or whatever.
And then New Japan Cup shows up in March.
Oh, good point.
And that tournament is for the belt, because that way you can put a bunch of people that don't have to be at the top of the card. So you could have some up and comers, but that's where you can elevate someone by winning that tournament.
Mm-hmm. And they just get the belt, and then it's like, oh, they didn't like really beat anybody for the belt, so the belt's just kind of got like a weird. It's kind of like brand new, like fresh almost.
Yeah.
But
then you can have someone debut or something like that, which is another thing. I think I really thought Archer should have won today, then beaten Finn tomorrow, and then Luke Harper shown up, and that would have been his next. Oh,
well, I mean, we don't know.
That's fantasy. That's all fantasy booking. But I would have loved that.
That's two big monsters.
Would have loved it.
Yes.
Harper and Archer going at it. I mean, I know Harper's not going to be his name, but we all know who we're talking about.
Yeah. The better bludgeon.
Yes, the better bludgeon brother.
But yeah, like if they with that they could make the cup a little bit bigger. make it a little bit more of a thing. Because
last year they had it at 32 people. I'd rather have it at 16.
The cup was 32?
Yeah, they had it 32 people last year.
I remember watching it. Was it that many people? Because single elimination.
Yeah.
It
was 4 nights of 4 matches each.
That's it. I guess that's it. Yeah, it just didn't seem like much. So I guess
it took up the entire month, and it was just way too long. I prefer 16 when it lasts 3 nights.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't have a problem with it, but it's whatever, man. But yeah, you can get some people up the card easier, like Chase.
It's a good way to get Sonata the belt.
Yeah, it's a really
Shingo.
It's a very safe way to get Shingo's not taking it now, but that'd be fucking cool.
It would be. Yeah. Or Ishii, give it to Ishii.
Or it goes up to
Juice.
Or like what if it was Shingo Ospreay again, but Shingo gets his win because they never touch each other the whole time.
Put Ospreay in the IC belt title picture.
Yeah, why not?
I mean, that's the thing is you build up an entire IC belt picture that doesn't include your 4 main eventers.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing is that literally they've used the IC belt over the last couple years as just they're not fighting for the heavyweight belt right now, so we'll move them down to the IC belt. So
yeah, make it more of an upper mid card belt and keep, kind of keep it as a separator.
Yeah, exactly.
It kind of just feels like it's like, oh, here's this guy that we can warm up, but he has to take a loss to get in the other picture. So it's all real interesting. It's all fun.
It's all fun. It's all good. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
Entertaining our thoughts on kaiju and wrestling movies.
My thought on Kaiju Mono is fine. Like, I mean, if you're a fan of Kota, Ibushi, and Minoru, Suzuki, it's fun to watch with a friend. I would have been bored out of my mind if I watched by myself.
Exactly. I agree completely. But like we said at the beginning, these house shows, it's kind of just for our ramblings, and that was our ramblings.
Yeah.
But if you did like this show, or if you like any of our other shows, please go out there and rate and review us on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, wherever you find your podcasts at. You can always email us at WrestlingHistoryX@gmail.com or hit us up on Twitter at WrestlingHistoX. That's Wrestling HISTOX. If you have any ideas for us to maybe give us suggestions on something to talk about, and we love just to ramble about stuff.
Yeah, we'll watch a match and gab about it.
Exactly.
Or another movie with wrestlers.
We love to do anything.
Not anything.
Well,
most things
within reason.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for joining us. We'll talk to you next time.
Good night.